Hello folks, Typhoon Carter here, and I bring to you another DPP Revival Invitational set. This is losers finals between former Arizona Wildcat Gilbert Arenas and Pideous. No, I'm just kidding, it's Marcop who's going to be playing against Pideous. Both players are guaranteed money at this point in the tournament, but whoever wins here is going to be facing martial law in grand finals. Now if they win this set, they also have to win grand finals twice, due to them coming from losers bracket. But regardless, this is a fantastic matchup to see. I have nothing else I want to say. Let's just go right into this. Gira lead, Hippo lead. Gyarados lead, so this is either CB or DD into this Hippowdon. Marcop probably not gonna want to stay here, so he'll either likely go with something like a Latias, Rotom, or like Scarm. There's a couple options here that he can go here, but Latias is probably the safe mid-ground play for Marcop on this turn 1. Going to go into Latias, instead gonna get T-Waved here, so this could be a defensive Gyarados on Pideous' end, could just be DD T-Wave. Celebi's gonna be shown here, and Magneton's revealed on Pideous' end. And Celebi's gonna come back in, and it's probably going to get Rocks up. Now Roserade is shown on Marcop's end, and go ahead and get Spikes up, so no T-Spikes from the looks of it. And Roserade's gonna have to switch out straight into Clefable right as Rocks go up. And it's probably Natural Cure Rest Roserade, which is what you'd see on these kind of stall teams that Marcop's running, or this bulky offense, however you want to identify it. Waterfall only doing 37%, so that's probably a Rest Gyarados based on the way that Pideous is playing this. And Wish Clef, and it's going to protect itself against this Waterfall. Don't want to risk a critical hit there. Waterfall's here. Wish is up again, so we might be stuck in this loop for a little bit. And Roserade's going to be the entry point here. And Marco is probably just going to look to get another layer of spikes up. Yeah, so that's 2 layers of spikes. And that's the nice thing about Spikes Rose is the fact that even without T-Spikes, you can still get some decent mileage out of this. And Scizor is going to be the other entry point here for Pideous, so bulky SD Scizor is probably what we're seeing here. And Sizz is just going to SD up here, and Marcop's probably going to get that Hidden Power Fire off. And oh, it doesn't quite kill, but regardless of what happens here, Marco is going to get the trap off. However, it's probably going to get counter trapped by the Magneton. Oh no, Starmie's just going to come in. Pideous made that play because of the fact that, one, Pideous knew that the Magnezone on Marcop's structure was likely Scarf, because usually if you see Magnezone on these kind of Hippo teams, it's usually Scarf because you want a countermeasure against something like SD Lucario, and other things like Jirachee, and obviously to trap Scarm because these Roserade teams tend to lose against Skarmory long term. So that's just something to keep in mind. And what this tells me is that Pideous' Magneton most likely did not have Hidden Power Ground, because I think that was also a very easy counter trap to go for if she had it. T-Tar's gonna come in here, and it will threaten either Superpower or Crunch. We're gonna find out. Okay, that barely did any damage to the Hippo, so that's either a Fizdef Hippo or... I do not know for sure. However, Rose here is gonna have to be careful of the Starmie just ruining its day. And oh, Hidden Power Fire there. The reason why you might see Hidden Power Fire on Starmie is because, one, it lets you beat a Pursuit Scizor one-on-one. So that's just like something to keep in mind. And well, also by proxy, you also beat stuff like Fori, which is like a nice touch. Anyways, Rose is gonna come out here, going to let Natural Cure do its thing. Clef going to protect here to scout the T-Tar. And yeah, it was most definitely not a choice T-Tar. It's probably Pasho or Shuka. Well, it might be Chopo T-Tar. I do not know for sure, but Selby's gonna come in here, gonna threaten a Grass Knot, but just got Psychic here instead. So this might be T-Waveless Celebi. And just got Psychic again. Gonna get Dragon Pulse, and yeah, we're in a bit of a stalemate here because neither player really wants to switch out. And just gonna get roared on the way out here. And I think this Rest Talk Gyarados is going to be probably the biggest nuisance to Marcop's team, because you have to make sure to Rosary. I mean, you do have the Magnet Zone, but you know, it's not doing as well. And oh, nice Sludge Bomb there by Marcop, being able to get rid of the Celebi. And just got Sludge Bomb here, trying to fish for a poison. Instead, reveals a Lumberry. And the Rose is gonna die to Sand. However, this Starmie can be a bit of a headache now. You know, I don't know about that. I would probably EQ their Force of Recover or something. I get why Marcop went for Rocks there, but I don't know if I agree with that in retrospect. And Waterfall's here, but the Gyarados is probably going to be able to wake up next turn, and no flinch there, fortunately. And just go Waterfall again. I mean, you could get a crit, could get... And the Starmie's gonna come out here, and it will probably recover. Or Rapid Spin too, that works as well. But the Clef is gonna be able to get a Wish off. And probably gonna protect itself against this T-Tar. That is now revealed to be Lumberry. Pursuit's there. And Meta is revealed to be the last on Marcop's team, and this is probably Impish meta. Because of the fact that one, usually if it's Impish meta, because something like DD Gyarados can be a problem for Marcop's team, so having something like a Metagross with Impish nature means that it could probably get a Thunder Punch off against opposing DD Gyara. So that's why you might see this. And Rest is here right on the Magnezone entry. And Magneton's going to... Oh! But because of Magnet Pole, this means that... Oh, it is Hidden Power Ground Magneton. And Starry's going to come in here, and it will probably get a Surf off. And right into T-Tar. Yeah, so Pideous making some strong doubles here. And got Crunch here as a mid-ground, trying to fish for a defense drop. Starmie's going to come in here, and only doing 35%, so this might be a Bold Star. And Starmie, or like it's a Starmie with some bulk investment. Maybe not like true bulk star, but I digress. And Gira is good. Oh, huge Waterfall crit there, as that's going to put Marcop in a bit of a bind. And oh, double crit there. That is really, really bad for Marco, because one, he was probably depending on that Clefable to get the Wish off and try to prolong this game a little bit longer. But now Pideous has the numbers advantage and doesn't have to worry about Clef anymore. So instead, Pideous can just focus on getting her Tyranitar in on the next Latias entry and trying to get Pursuit Trap off. And oh, huge mash raise there. And oh, this meta probably does not have T-Punch. Probably should have clicked it by now. And oh, full Paras there. Pideous getting several huge breaks here. Mashes again. Yeah, this is brutal. Marco cannot get anything going right now. But the lefties is really putting in overtime for Marco. And this might be just Meteor Mash EQ for all I know. And oh, Mash missed there. So, yeah, Marcop can't get anything going right now. And PP is a real problem at this stage in the game, especially if you're playing such a prolonged game. And I think Pideous is just trying to work the Metagross into Magneton range right now, which is what she should be aiming for. But yeah, Pideous just trying to string together however many full paras as necessary, or trying to stall out the Meteor Mashes. That's also a viable path. And Marco not able to get any mash raises here, or rather any additional mash raises, I should say. Rest is here again, and oh, full paras again. I think if Marco doesn't get immediately full parrot on any of the subsequent mash raises, finally gets the second mash raise he's looking for, but he's only down to 3. Gets full parrot there. Waterfall's here, and mash misses again. Marco cannot get anything going his way right now. Finally gets a crit for all his troubles, but it might be too little too late, depending on how this plays out. Oh, Toxic is revealed here. And is this EQ-less meta? And gets a crit there because he cannot seem to get anything going his way. Can't catch a break whatsoever. And crits again because why not? I do not have any words to say. And Marco saying it was Magnet Rise Metagross in game chat. And yeah, wow, so it was probably Meteor Mash Protect Toxic and, well, no, what's the other move? Oh, it's probably Meteor Mash Explosion, Toxic, and then Magnet Rise. That was likely what it might have been on Marco's end. But wow. Pideous in this third place game is up 1-0 and looking to make back-to-back trips to grand finals. And Marco is, he has his back against the wall. Anyways, that was an ugly game, but let's go into game 2. Heatran lead, Jirachee lead, so Pideous probably bringing out maybe her signature Jirachee Loom Tran build, but we do not know for sure. It's very early in the game. Could be a Star Zap as well. And for the Heatran, could be a bazillion things. Could just be off Tran for all I know, but we'll find out soon enough. Latias is going to come in on his Stealth Rock entry, so it's probably Sash or some kind of Resist Berry on that Heatran. And T-Wave's there, so it might be a defensive Lati, and could get pursued on the way out there by that T-Tar. And Hippo is going to be shown on Pideous's end. And Breloom's going to have a comfortable entry here. So no, it's Marco bringing out the Breloom Tran offense. And gets Superpower into this Rotom. And that is a defensive Rotom. But Marco's going to hold off on that. And that is a Hidden Power Ice Rotom from the looks of it. And oh, gets pursued it there, which it rather was going to pursue, but gets full parried, which is funny because this series took place before the pursuit mechanic was properly implemented on Showdown. And for those who do not know what I'm talking about, basically what was discovered was that if the Tyranitar is paralyzed, and if it uses pursuit right as the target switches out, it would never get full parried. So that's just something to keep in mind. Anyways, Jirachee's going to come in here, and it's going to probably threaten an Iron Head here, but instead gets a Body Slam, which is a decent mid-ground play into the Metagross. And it is Body Slam Protect, so this might be a Wish Protect Jirachee. And gets insta-critted, so Marco getting some payback from game 1. And gonna go back into Heatran here, as Pideous is gonna get layers up with the Scarm. And Marco now getting the Fire Blast burn in his favor, putting the Clefable under a lot of pressure as it can't really check anything anymore. He gets burns there. So, yeah, the game decided that Marco was due for some luck eventually after that game 1. And the Hippo now on a permanent timer. I guess Seed Bomb here, but could get a sleep off on this Scarm. And Latias is going to be slept here, but Pideous can't really come back in after this. Seed Bomb's here. I probably was superpowered personally, but I digress. Gonna have to swap on to Heatran to make sure the Scarm doesn't, you know, click Brave Bird or Dropek or anything along those lines. But yeah, this Heatran's putting in overtime for Pideous. And you gotta go into Latias here. And gonna get roared out. Gonna drag the Tyranitar back out. Pideous could try to roar again to rack up some more damage, but we'll find out what she does here soon enough. Gets roared again. This time into Metagross, and Meta can threaten an explosion, so Pideous does not really want to stay in here, especially with a burned Hippo. Mash raise here, and gotta get Thunder Punch. And now the Skarmory's under a lot of pressure. Rotom's gonna get T-punched here. 22% respectable damage on a non-stab move. 41%. And Pideous didn't go for Will-O-Wisp there, or might not have it. Probably because the meta might be Lumberry, which is commonplace here. And EQ's here. And no, it was Shuka meta. So, oh, I see, because this team is kind of annoyed by Mixgon, so something like a Shuka meta is not a bad call here. Surf's here, and Skarm's gonna be repeatedly forced to roost, but really you see the effects of no lefties, because Pideous has to waste even more roost PP. And Marco is just one crit away from just putting the Skarmory out of commission. 39% here. Skarmory can keep roosting up here until... because that Latias is out of commission effectively. And Heatran's just going to come in here right as the Skarm roosts up. And Fire Blast will connect there. And Latias is gonna come out here, can't really do much. And it's going to stay asleep, and Sand will do it in. And Marco's going to tie this up 1-1. So we got a rubber match here for a trip to Grand Finals. That is what's at stake here. Anyways, that said though, we have, I believe this is game 3. And again, just a reminder, first place gets $550. As for our prize pool, I think third place gets around like $250 or something around that ballpark. So regardless of what happens here. But that said though, let's jump right into this. Rose lead, Azelf lead. Heatran's gonna be coming out here, and Azelf, so Pideous probably bringing a hyper offense of some kind. Whereas for Marco, I mean, if he's bringing Rose lead, probably Rose Tran Pert. If I had to take a gander, but U-turns here into the Heatran and straight into Lava Plume. However, has to be careful of Earth Power now, and Marco is going to pivot out, trying to deal with this. And Draco misses, but going to get exploded on the way out. And Rose is going to come in onto Zapdos. Zapdos got a U-turn here, and oh, this might be a Scarf Rose. And oh, it's a Scarf Rose of his own versus a Scarf Zap. From the way Marco's playing this, and gets poison pointed on the way out there. So that's gotta be tremendous, and this Heatran looks incredible right now, and 42% from that Rotom, so that's a Specs Rotom. I think Meta is Pideous' last here, from what I recall, because Pideous needs a secondary resist to handle this, and oh, Heatran's going to get taken out by that Focus Punch. Jirachee's gonna come in here and straight into Zapdos, but this Zapdos is Scarf Zap, from what I can tell. Because I think this is a 6 that Pideous has used before, and Heat Wave miss is huge, and Marco was probably banking on that miss too. So he's gotta let Poison do the work here. And Heat Wave misses again. Oh, T-Bolt's there. That is a devastating blow for Pideous. And now this Jirachee can just comfortably sit behind a sub and trade down. And the last is probably a Rotom on Marco's end. And Hidden Power is going to get the job done after that one Iron Head flinch. But Rotom is going to be able to come in and probably threaten a... Oh, huge Shadow Ball there. Going to do 50% to this Swampert, and the Swampert's going to be taken out. But if this is Scarf Rotom, then Marco might actually have this game sealed. Shadow Balls again. And it's going to come down to whether this Breloom can get a Seed Bomb crit. I think that's the only way she can... Oh, gets a Spore off though. So yeah, no, it's still a race against time. And instant wakes. Pideous might be eliminated here. And Marco's going to win this series 2-1. And we will have a new Invitational champion in Grand Finals, as Pideous will finish with a respectable 3rd place finish. And Marco is going to meet Martial Law in Grand Finals again, as this will be their 2nd meeting, and potentially 3rd meeting if Marco wins the reset. So thank you for playing Pideous, and yeah, we're gonna have Grand Finals coming up real soon. And good stuff by Marco, as he's able to come out on top in this series. I don't know how fast that Jirachee was, but it might have came down to flinches. We don't know for sure. But that being said though, if you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys for Grand Finals.